Going to be Kings Cove, then Acropolis. And if we go to game number 3, it'll be on Thunderbird. And game 1 is now loaded up. Trap versus Cure, our first best of 3 in Group B, starts now.
Jin Air Green Wings, Trap.
What was that little giggle, Artosis? I heard your nose giggle in the microphone. We have these new mics that pick up, I think, way too much sound.
Way too much.
I appreciate that they stepped up the audio here, but like now I can hear if there's too much saliva in my mouth when I cast.
Cure.
Well, I saw the things that I go through my mind that I think are funny. Like if I explain them, they aren't funny at all. But like I saw the match number was like 39-85, and I'm like, it's Tasteless's 3,000th birthday. You know, like
it's not funny at all. But now that you've said it out loud, you've exposed yourself as being dumb.
Yeah.
I've had stuff like that where it's like funny in my head, and then if I repeated it all, people are like, "Oh, you're an idiot."
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, sorry. I should just keep my ideas to myself. Sorry.
Yeah. But you asked, and I wanted you to know that I was actually thinking about you being 3,000 years old or something.
I feel like it sometimes, Artosis.
Yeah. You look like it sometimes. Jeez. You're older than the oldest coral in the Great Barrier Reef.
I'm the great Deku tree of esports. All right, some trap support here. From that's an old meme. That's a good one. Give me the Cure. Oh, upside down. There's still time. All right, from NYC.
All right. So, I'm excited about this match. It's too bad that it's a team kill and all. Obviously, they know the way that each other plays very, very well. I think that Trap is a magnificent PvT player. I think his PvT is really, really strong. Good stuff. But it is absolutely not unbeatable. And I'm looking for some solid, straight-up play from Cure, to be honest. I think that
Cure's always been a pretty straight-up Terran player.
Yeah,
I think out of all the Terrans we have, innovation, I guess, as well. We should always say.
Absolutely.
The Cure just always, to me, he's like that straight-up, solid, top 10 ladder Terran. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, just think about this group in general. I mean, I could see so many different players getting out. It's such a hard one to predict. We don't know exactly how everyone's going to react to the patch or anything like that, right? It's going to be harder to take quick thirds and whatnot. Of course, we have those couple of new maps, Triton and Winter's Gate, in. They're vetoed in this series, of course.
Right.
Probably will be for the next week or two while people get used to them.
Whenever we get new maps, this is the funny thing, is we never actually see them immediately because players tend to veto them. If you're wondering why that happens, it's because these guys have played so much on the maps that we already have, they actually prefer to continue to try their strategies out on maps they're comfortable on.
Yeah.
You very rarely ever have a pro gamer say, okay, I want to go for the new map. I wish they would do it more often, but I get it. And
yeah.
Of course, we have to have veto processes in tournaments for maps. So.
And there's a whole strategy behind that, too. If you feel like you're quite a bit weaker, you should be trying to play the weird maps, to be honest, because your opponent is less prepared for them. I think in this case, though, the levels are relatively close. Obviously, Trap has done a lot more than Cure. But, nice little run by there. We'll see that it's a quick 3 gates with the Blink.
That's right. Is this ever going to be used for aggression? Or is this simply because I know a lot of times we see 3 gate and Blink, it's defensive, but no, we actually have a 4th and a 5th. Okay, so this is absolutely going to be right in the Terran's face.
I think that a good rule of thumb,
if there's no robo, it has to be aggressive.
If they get the robo, it's like there might be pressure, but if it's like the 2 gates immediately, that's just for Stalker production. It's not for anything else.
Now
you don't just get the gateways to look pretty or to wall something off.
There is a medevac coming across the map, and this is it's unfortunate that he did not manage to get this all the way to where the Protoss's expansions are, because with no vision there, having Widow Mines in the worker line would completely thwart any progress from the Protoss at all.
Yeah, even getting that 1 unit, kind of nice, but there's a lot of gateways, man. So this is going to be a bit scary. He is going to be able to use a hallucination to blink up into the main base as well. Obviously, Widow Mines, if you blink correctly against them, are not going to connect well. He's got that proxy gate for Warpins as well.
So here comes those Widow Mines now. Now, there's no recourse here for Protoss. There's no Oracle out. I'm actually surprised he didn't send that to the natural as well here. Here comes the Stalkers now going into the main, using that hallucinated Colossus to get vision of the high ground here.
Yeah, very cool that he's actually utilizing Colossus. Some very good blink micro at the moment.
Did you see that Colossus laser stay there after the Colossus disappeared? Was that not the weirdest thing ever?
No, I didn't see that actually.
So we have the Marines coming forward here. He's going to be able to deny concussive shells, possibly. The SCVs and Marines are being pulled over here.
Oh, yeah, an aggressive blink forward there, picking off the Marauder, I believe. A lot of SCVs going down, though. Just tons and tons and tons of damage.
There's another wave of Stalkers coming in, and we might get to the point where this snowballs here. With 4 more coming in here, especially where this tech lab is, it's created this little bottleneck where the Marines can't ever get good surface area. Yeah. And so it's making the fight actually a lot better for the Protoss than one would expect.
No, this is crushing face right now. Trap has done so much damage. It's just madness. 30 SCVs dead.
It's just going to keep going. Cure only has 20 SCVs remaining. The medevac goes down. Another tech lab denied. SCVs are getting lower and lower and lower in number.
He's super dead, man.
This just worked.
This is not a situation in which you're going to be able to come back, truthfully.
Yeah, we should have GG in a second here. Trap strategy totally paying off. GG.
Yeah. You know, it's an aggressive build. You don't see that build too much. That is definitely a map it can work quite well on. Trap does like to tech up rather quickly, this is kind of an interesting thing. Is a build like that going to be able to work in the future? Because I think the new builds for the new patch are not worked out as of now. For instance, that was a Widow Mine drop. That's kind of a standard opening to go Widow Mine drop into like three racks and +1 and take your third behind that. But we might see an evolution of Terran builds coming up where you're going more barracks heavy early on because of the quickness of stim. Maybe you can cancel thirds or something. But anyways, this next map, Acropolis, definitely not a map that you can do a blink all in on. It would be complete garbage here.
So this is strats like that, especially when there's been a shift in like a patch or sometimes on new maps even. Strats like that absolutely can be quite strong. We're actually ready to jump into game 2. Let's go ahead and get into that now.
Jin Green Wings, Trap.
Yeah, nice execution on that last game. Not a whole lot to it, but strong build.
Jin Green Wings, Cure.
And I hope that Cure is not thrown off losing to that. It's again a build you don't see too often right now. Obviously it can't be used here. I think that the build he did on that previous map would be totally fine to use here. Acropolis definitely very different from King's Cove. No, it is kind of a big macro-ish map.
Yeah, I hope we actually have a little bit of a longer game here. It's pretty brutal when you see a timing attack just completely crush. Do you think that Terran could have actually held that off if the surface area had been set up differently? It's sort of an unintended consequence of the setup of the Terran's base that the Stalker blink-in was so strong, because there was never an angle where you could get a lot of surface area.
Yeah, that is true, but that was like a moment where Trap had a lot more power than Cure, regardless as well, right? Because it's like you're sitting there on something like 7 gates. The blink-in is before stim.
You have a lot of momentum, right?
Yeah, there's a medevac across the map doing mine drops, so it's like, well, I mean, the mine drops are good, but you're losing so much at home. You just don't have much of a standing army. You don't have a siege tank, right? That's a big part of that. You don't have any way to kind of zone them off your building, so you're forced to fight.
By the way, while you were talking, I saw JYP just came in.
Yeah. Really?
JYP, our Korean cast. We actually have Sue casting today, by the way.
That's right, because TY is playing.
Yeah, because TY is playing. But JYP's down here.
Yep.
He's been doing his mandatory military service. And I believe we were asking what his job is, and he says he has to, like, open and close a door. Did you hear about this?
I believe it's a gate.
It's a gate.
Don't you be talking trash on his gate, calling it a door, tasteless.
Yeah, well, that's what he described.
You got your little door, JYP. It's a gate, tasteless. It's important.
We were making a lot of fun of him when we found out what he was. I'm like, so what do? You like drive tanks around, or are you like learn how to pilot an aircraft? He's like, no, I open and close a gate. It's terrible.
Oh, I love it.
He is our watcher at the wall. So
the shift has begun.
yeah.
Oh my! Is he just gonna do the same thing again? That would be crazy.
Actually, sometimes stuff like this is actually the best move, because like. At the highest level, people can overthink stuff so much. It's like, no, just do the exact same thing again.
The thing is, on like King's Cove, it has a big, wide open area where you can blink into the main base. On Acropolis, you can't blink into the main. You've got that kind of area around it, right? There's like a Reaper jump path, and that's it. There's no real way for Stalkers to get there, so it has to be a frontal attack, which makes a move like that a lot weaker.
Right.
But only one gate being added. Huh?
What happened here? Why is he doing that?
Oh, it's because he figured the Hellions would be across the map right now.
Just preempted it. That's pretty cool to see, actually.
Yeah. This is actually, the thing is, and I love that he preempted it. This was actually a very intelligent move. And Kira's actually offset his timing a little bit. But just to mention about this, right, if you don't set up preemptively, like literally right after you make your Nexus a pylon at your natural, then you don't have a wall against Hellions. And if you don't have a wall and they make 4 Hellions and send them, you will lose a lot.
By the way, if the moment he sends these back is when the Hellions end up coming in here. It looks like they just barely might get nicked. No, instead the Hellions are going to be able to spill through here.
Oh my god, the body blocking.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. Can he actually come in here and take these workers out? He is just barely not getting any kills here.
Yeah, the shield battery is definitely helping quite a bit. This is a good probe surround as well.
Yeah, the surface area here, the probes has been incredible, and he only killed 4 probes.
Yeah, he got a sentry in there as well and some lost mining time, but definitely that was a very strong hold overall, I would say. Trap did a great job blocking that. If his Stalker was a little bit misplaced at the top of that ramp, and the 6 Hellions got in, I think the whole mineral line would have basically died. I think we'd have like 30 probe deaths.
So Kier coming in here trying to get a lot of workers. He does not succeed in that at all. He only kills 4, so he basically lost money with that attack. Did not really get any value. And when you invest in a lot of Hellions like that, you are absolutely not getting as many other units that you could have had here. So we're seeing a small number of Marines, 1 tank.
Yeah, your follow-ups are going to be a lot slower after something like that.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the more Hellions you see earlier, the softer the Terran army is going to be later on. There definitely is some sacrifice involved when you get up a certain number of Hellions.
Yeah.
And, Marines and tanks are the core of the Terran army, so I think Protoss, after holding that and taking this third, Protoss is going to have a lot of freedom in this game.
Well, you definitely see that reflected in his choice of strategy here, right? He's adding 2 forges and a 3rd base immediately. So that is showing that he knows that there's no real attack that can come in and threaten him. Now, this is an interesting thing that we're seeing from Kier. He's going up immediately into 5 barracks, and the observer saw that right off the bat. So, like, there is full intel for Trap right now. He knows that this is going to be aggressive. It's going to be two base aggression, kind of non-stop coming up. Lined up, of course, with like stim and +1 combat shields. But that just means that what we need to see out of Kier, or Trap rather, is macroing. Like, slow him down if you can, sure. But basically you have to hold the push, and it's going to be scary.
Yeah, the push is going to be tough, but again, if you stop that, you pretty much have won the game at that point in time. So 6 gates coming down here. We have an Immortal coming out. There is 1 medevac headed northbound. It's going to try to loop through here towards the main, but you can see Trap already has observers in place. Trap really crossing his T's and dotting his I's. He's totally prepared for what's coming towards him.
I got to say, by the way, when I just saw stim finish, you can really feel the difference on the stim timing. My God, that was quick.
It's crazy how fast it comes out.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so Combat Shields is coming along, +1 as well, and he is trying to line up his attack with these so that when the full engagement occurs, he'll have those upgrades done. No concussive shells, unfortunately, for these, but that is going to be the last upgrade you get. Here comes this drop now. Let's see what he can get done with it while he pressures with the rest of his army.
Okay, a drop's coming in here, and we have the Stalkers in here from behind. He's trying to snipe one of those tanks. It's not quite gone yet. The Zealots are going to warp in and sandbag the damage that can be dealt over here. Actually, he's going to go ahead and recall as well. Now, the push in the south over here is about to hit the Protoss' natural, and I do not know that Protoss quite has enough to hold this.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this seems like a pretty good attack. He should do a hot pickup right there. Oh, the mine not being as successful as he wanted, but he has the 2 siege tanks there. He's already damaged the Immortals a bit. All right, one of the shields does get activated, keeping the Marines in front. Beautiful control here from Cure. Oh, I'm loving it. Getting some chills right now from how nicely he's executing this attack.
The Stalkers are advancing forward here. These Immortals doing some damage. They do finally take out the tanks, but it's not enough. GG Cure wins with his own timing attack.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done. The drop in the main base, so crucial here. That recall is what allowed this attack to actually get in and do its damage. I tell you, well done. I'm getting a bit of chills right here. Cure, his play is very, very strong. He gets caught off guard in game 1, and then game 2, like, that was good defense, and I felt like it was a good follow-up there from Trap, but Cure punishing.
We're going to go to Thunderbird for map 3 now. I'm curious to see what Trap's going to do this time around.
I would imagine a macro build. I mean, Thunderbird is a great map for Protoss, I think, in general. You can kind of just turtle it up, and
yeah, you can kind of be left alone.
It's
harder to meddle with.
Hard to break through, right?
Yeah.
There's 1 point to defend, and then you just watch for drops, and that's it.
Well, let's see what happens. We're just speeding along here. Nothing but timing attack so far today. We're tied up 1-1. Game 3 will decide who will go on to the winner's match, and then, of course, the loser goes to the loser's match. Nobody eliminated just yet. Thunderbird is loaded up. Let's do this. Trap vs. Cure continues on.
Fight! Jin Air Green Wings.
You hear me breathing?
I do.
These mics pick up
I
so
thought you
much.
were going to introduce.
I thought about it.
Yeah, I could tell. Because your lips smacked.
Jin Air Green Wings. Cure.
Yeah. I'm so... I don't know. I love it right now. The new patch is kind of exciting to see some of the changes that are occurring. That build in particular from Cure, I mean, it's not like I didn't feel like it was super special, but it's just strong, right? You're going Hellions and trying to get the damage in, and sometimes you will and sometimes you won't.
Well, considering it didn't actually kill almost any workers and the push still worked, I mean, it's clearly a pretty strong attack here.
Yeah. Well, if you have your full army, I think you hold it. But the recall and all those stalkers, that was a lot of units to deal with that 1 medevac in the main. So maybe a bit of an over defense there from Trap. Anyways, looks like pretty standard openers thus far. We'll have to wait and see what kind of tech that Trap wants to go for. As far as Cure, kind of got to expect pretty standard stuff, right? It's like, okay, maybe Widow Mines, maybe Hellions, but overall 3 racks and an eBay, and then we'll see where you go from there.
Yeah. I still wonder who's actually going to get out of this group. This is such a tough one to call. Everybody's so good.
Yeah, I could definitely see it going any which way. Like, I generally always choose TY.
Well, he's a very safe bet, but, he's been casting a lot.
No, exactly. So it makes it a little bit harder. And
I've actually had some people joke with me, like, come on, Taze. I'm like, no, you don't understand, actually. It's like a lot of time he's spent just getting used to being on camera and talking. He hasn't had anywhere near as much time to practice.
Yeah.
Even though I think casting can actually make you improve in a lot of ways.
Yes, absolutely.
But I do think like he's still in kind of a weird limbo here.
Yeah, it's like I definitely agree with that assessment. You're kind of studying the game in a very different way, and switching things up definitely does lead to improvement. Of course, you can deprove in some other ways, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like you're not playing as much, so
yeah.
You deprove mechanically, perhaps.
By the way, we got an Oracle coming out here for Trap.
Okay.
And completely different build again this time around here for him. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, the Reaper is going to come over and try to get a little scout up. Oh, nice.
Yeah, he'll be able to get inside the main here.
That's a pretty big deal, actually. Sees exactly what's up.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that got in there.
You kidding me? Oh, I thought that was a probe explosion. I was like, no! That Reaper had no health. There's no way. And then, of course, that was true. There was no way because it didn't happen. So look at this. He's actually walled this time.
Yeah.
Looking for possible Hellions coming in. Of course, we can see that that is not the case. He even kept his Oracle at home for a moment.
There's no hidden mines on the map. There's one on the ramp here, but, you know, I don't believe we're going to have one of those moments where the Oracle just flies over and gets popped.
I know, probably not, especially with this Adept leading away.
Okay, and so the Adept is then taken out here. So that was actually intentional. The Adept was there to lead in for the Oracle. He was the fall man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely can help out. You know, it takes 3 hits for either of them to kill a Marine or a SCV. Right. So if you pair them together, obviously, it's going to help quite a bit.
So we have Stim starting up now. That'll be speeding along here. And it's already up to 3 Oracles. Let's see if he stops here. We see a lot of players just stop at 3, but...
Yeah, 3 is kind of the magic number. They get a lot done, one-shotting Marines or SCVs. That's very important.
Oracles are funny because they're one of the units that, like, the more you get... It's kind of like Reavers in Starcraft 1. Like, there's a limit on how many you would ever want.
Yeah.
It's not like you would just want to max out on Oracles and go fight something, you know?
Do you remember there was this tiny period of time where Protosses were literally just making mass Oracle against Earth?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And I remember,
there were a couple different cheeses, too. There was, like, one against Terran you could do where you just, like, fly in a bunch of the main as well.
That was something that SOS tried. That was really funny, too.
Yeah.
It's funny when builds cross matchup lines.
Yeah.
But I remember I was on vacation when that when the Oracle build came out, so I didn't even believe that it beat Hydras. And I think I said it on GSL, and then our good buddy Demog messaged me. He was like, no, seriously, try it. Try it in the unit tester. So I went into unit tester and did it. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Yeah. They just massacred the Hydras.
This is funny, too, because everything dies so fast it doesn't even look right. It looks like it's like not the game's designed incorrectly. Like,
yeah. That was funny stuff.
It just like erases everything on screen. By the way, 5 more gates on the way. Blink has just started. Stim is going to finish here. So when Stim finishes, generally, as a rule, Terran tend to move out at that moment. That's when their infantry are more than double the strength, basically. Kind
of an older style of play here from Trap to go for Oracles with a very fast third base into the mass.
It seems very
Blink.
safe. If you notice, everything is set up to slow down Curb. He can tag the army with the Oracles. This is basically Protoss trying to play, you know, with seatbelts and helmets on, water wings. Everything is as safe as possible because he just wants to pull this into a longer game where he's going to be more comfortable.
Well, I'm slightly nervous for both sides, to be honest, because this is such a decisive move coming up from Cure.
Yeah, Cure's about to go for it. His +1 attack is 10 seconds out.
He wants him to walk into that so badly, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, he's almost serpentined his way into it.
Seriously.
Does he not know it's there? Oh!
Well, that's exactly what Trap needed right there.
Yeah.
That gives him so much more time. Now, it looks like he's starting to make some shield batteries, which is actually quite important in this case. Look at that. He's got a big enough army to kind of push this stuff back. Great usage. There. Oh, my God. That's beautiful usage of... That's not tall grass. What do we call that? Weird gaslight things?
Yeah. Strobe lights?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Force fields come down, blocking out a decent amount of the army. Second wave of force fields down here. Oracles have not been triggered just yet. Another Warpin comes in. He's going to wait for that Marine count to get a little bit lower, I believe, before the Oracles start to blast everything.
Yeah, you could definitely be right about that. It seems like Trap should be able to hold this.
Yeah, everything seems to be pointing towards Terran. Eventually getting diminished.
That was an amazing mind drag on top of everything with the Phoenix.
That was sick. Concussive Shells is almost done, but is this going to matter? The medevacs, by the way, are nearly out of energy, so there won't be much healing for much longer.
Cure has to turn around if he doesn't want to lose this game right here. This Immortal coming out and everything, too. Oh, another great drag as well. And look at this. He's going to be able to pick off medevacs. The medevacs have gotten so low. The Immortal's doing some work also.
And we see the Stalkers coming forward now.
Surprising just how close that even was for Cure at the end.
That was actually a little bit confusing there. But I got to say that I'm surprised Cure actually lasted that long in the fight. Talk about serious sustainability there.
Yeah, a lot of things went wrong, too. Imagine if that Stasis Ward hadn't occurred.
Oh, I think we might actually already be done with the game then. I think actually Cure would have won. I mean, it seems like Terran has a really strong timing attack here right now in this matchup.
Yeah.
And again, with the patch and the changes, we're still kind of unpacking the game all over again. I mean, this is where Cassie becomes a lot more exploratory because we're kind of learning along with everybody else here.
The thing is, the Terrans have to perfect some of these builds first, and then the Protoss will start to counter them as they start to lose to them more.
Yeah.
And then the Terran builds get more refined. So we're like in stage 1 where Kier is kind of probing with the new stuff right now. And you can see that some of these attacks are very strong, even in a situation where it didn't look like it should have been very close at all. It still was. And look at this, he's still putting the pressure on.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like this should work, though.
You know, the immortal count is not quite high enough to where he can really, easily drive this away, but he's getting enough zealots out here. The rhythm of expanding in this game specifically has been pretty funny because it almost looks like the Protoss is a Zerg player. Like, just barely trying to get his fourth up. Yeah. Terran continues to push here.
That's definitely what's occurring. Like, he's trying hard to get that going. I love that he has this prism across the map, by the way.
Yeah, this is really good.
Yeah, it's such an important move for him to do here. Because, all this pressure has been on him. To put on a little bit of counter pressure not only does some damage, but it actually gets Kier off his back, right? And that allows him to get his own macro flowing a little bit better here. He can get his splash damage going, hopefully get a second forge as well. He's got his 4 bases up.
Now, with the 4th secured here and Storm coming, Storm is one of the final pieces really in PvT that allows you to obliterate the Terran's army. So as that comes out here, we might see a lot more muscle here. What is the immortal count up to now? It should be 3 now. I think that's the 4th one coming along.
I believe you're right about that. And of course, that's going to be a lot of power. Ooh, this is going to be a nice snipe. But yeah, that adds a ton of power to his army.
Yeah, between Storm and Immortals, those are the real power units here. Okay, so the army's coming up now. This flank might really catch Terran off guard. In fact, beautiful Storm here. And he's actually disjointed some of this army here, and Protoss is everywhere. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was an owning. That was a whooping, Artosis.
That hurt. There's no doubt about it. That hurt. And
that could not have gone worse for the Terran. And I think that from here, this should be like an alley-oop for Trap to just push in and kill him. I mean, the amount of damage he did there.
You have to turtle at this point as Kier. Can you even hold on turtling? That's a good question, because we don't really see mines, we don't really see liberators, and those are the 2 things that you would need up here to make sure that this doesn't kill you, but I think he's dead. I think we can call it tasteless.
I think it's time to, this is going to be a Trap victory for sure here. He is going to retreat into his own worker line, and everything's going to die to splash damage here with those Archons there. Oh, never mind, he's going to go up to the top here. He can really do whatever he wants, man. I mean, but really impressive play here by Trap. And I think Trap made the right adjustments in this game. I think Trap identified that, he needed to drag this out into a longer game.
Yeah.
And, how we were talking about this being over, and it's totally not, and he drove him away. Wow.
He did drive him away, but look at that worker count, 74 against 48.
Yeah. I do still think the writing's on the wall here.
Yeah, I'm not super feeling it for Kier, but let's see. I mean, maybe there is some way to come back. If you attack a couple times poorly, then you can be in trouble, but I think Trap knows what to do from here. I gotta say, by the way, though, like, I look at this series and what it looked like, and I feel like if they meet again in the final match, like, let's say that Hero or TY wins the group, right? So whoever wins this, probably Trap, loses that match.
They have to meet again in, like, the 5th best of 3 as we're closing the show,
Like, that Stasis Ward we saw, that's not really replicable, right? And he did, like, the mass blink all-in on King's Cove, and I look at the series, and it doesn't look obvious to me that...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
GG, okay.
But what I'm saying is, it doesn't look obvious to me that Trap will win a rematch. As much as I love Trap and everything, I don't feel like he just slaughtered Kier at all.
No. No.
He won the series. Good for him. He made great moves to win the series. But Kier is a real danger to come back and beat him in the final match if they meet again.
I think you make a really good point, Artosis, is that Kier still had information he was farming there.
Yeah.
There was still more that he could download and use. So,
which is funny because
a rematch would be great. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. So it was a good series, and Trap moves on to that winner's match.
Coming up next, Hero versus TY. We'll go to that just after this short break. Don't go away.